I want to show something really quickly in the book of Daniel. So we're looking at the book of Daniel in the Masoretic text and the in the Hebrew Bible. Although this particular part of Daniel is in Aramaic. For those who don't know, certain parts of Daniel and Ezra, even in your Tanakh, are in Aramaic rather than Hebrew. But whatever the case, the main point here is that it's in in the Hebrew script, the Hebrew characters. And just to be clear, we're in the book of Daniel and we're in the 3rd chapter. And I want to show a couple of words that are describing musical instruments. And for example, in verse 5, there's this word. It's pointed in the Masoretic pointing in the Nikudot as kaitros, but I'm going to deliberately pronounce it differently, and you'll see why in a moment. I'm going to pronounce this kitaros, all right? And then aside from that, you have this word here, symphonia, right? Then you go down to verse 10, again, the word that I'm pronouncing, kitaras, and then you have sifanya with a yod instead of a wa, sifanya. And then you go to verse 15. Here's verse 15, and I want, once again, guitarras and symphonia, right? Now, I want to show that in the Septuaginta, in the Greek text, or, with Daniel, it's a little bit more complex. It's not simply just one Greek text. We'll say this is the text of Theodotion, but whatever the case, we're in Daniel, we're in the 3rd chapter, and when you look at verse 5, which was the first verse we looked at over there, you see the word kitharas, and then you see this word symphonias, or you could say symphonias, depending on how you pronounce that second character. You go to verse 10. That's right. When you go to verse 10, once again, you find words like kitharas and symphonias or symphonias. And then when you go to verse 15, once again, you find words like kitharas and symphonias. Now, you'll notice that these terms in the Aramaic text of Daniel, like as you saw a moment ago, words like what I'm pronouncing as guitarras or guitarros and symphonia, right? You notice they're almost identical to the terms in the Greek translation, right? Guitarras and symphonias. Well, if I could show you something really quickly in Franz Rosenthal's Grammar of Biblical Aramaic, I'm going to turn to page 59, if you bear with me for a second. It's on that page that he has a discussion on loan words in Biblical Aramaic, and he lists certain Greek words, like the words which we looked at. And the reason why this is interesting is because that would entail that in the Hebrew script, in the Aramaic text, you have Greek words being transcribed and essentially transliterated into Hebrew characters. And therefore, the way it's using the yod and the wa in these transliterations are to convey certain vowel sounds. And so I think that's a testament to how early the use of these characters in that way to convey vocalizations that certain people would say don't exist in the Hebrew script, that such usages were existing perhaps as early as the time of the writing of Daniel. And one other thing that I just wanted to point out was that this shows that just as the New Testament has Hebrew and Aramaic terms transliterated in the Greek script, so too the Old Testament has Greek terms transliterated in the Hebrew script. I don't know about you, I thought you might find that interesting, a little bit of food for thought, and that's all I really wanted to share in this very short video. And on that note, God bless.